the hosts of Golf Talk Radio, Mike and Billy.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. We are so glad you are with us. We are live on the Central Coast of California. It is the Saturday of the Masters. I believe it's the 13th of April. Beautiful day here in the Central Coast, wherever you are. I hope it's just as awesome as it is here, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Billy Gibbs. That guy right over there is Mr. Mike Brabenick. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm great, Mr. Billy Gibbs. How be you this morning?
Been a great morning, man. So I'm glad to be here. And Nikki, thank you for the balls.
You're welcome,
and
Billy.
The cream. I mean, it's nice. Anytime someone brings you cream, you should think, God, what's wrong with me? But it's okay.
Cream in a bag of balls.
But hey, you know what? I was thinking on the way up here after I got run over twice. Traffic nuts out there today. Did you guys notice coming down?
Yeah. When I got to the grade, it was terrible.
It's crazy, people. Yeah. What's going on? I mean, anyways, there's just it felt like I was in a race.
I think the universe.
My competitiveness just came on. I kicked his butt.
The universe is a little tilted.
Yeah, it's
today.
a little weird.
Yeah.
But for the 20 years we've been on or so, it's been kind of cool that we have not really focused on the PGA Tour. There's many shows out there that's kind of their focus, which I'm sure there's some interest in that, and the tour players and who's doing what and who's doing nothing and what's hot, what's not on the tour, stats and things like that. So we've kind of focused our show on about the 90% of the other people who play golf and the human interests and the humor and things that really happen in the golf world. Between Mike and myself and even Nikki, there's probably 100 years of experience, and especially in the business. Mike and I got over 50 years, I believe, or even close to 60 years in the golf business. So we've seen a lot of things, and there's so much fun to talk about. Today's kind of an exception. This is the Masters week. And anybody in the golf world, Masters is the event. This is our Super Bowl. And it has been unbelievable the last 2 days. So I got to tell you, man, this show we're going to really focus on that. And Nikki's come in bubbling, floating above the ground because it's Masters week. And
that's right.
She brought presents and smiles and happiness because it reminds her of a couple of years ago or 3 years ago when we were over there.
The best trip ever.
And it was
trip.
pretty amazing. So we'll share our stories again, and we've done. But this is Master Week, and I've been fortunate enough to kind of see a lot of it. I've been working a lot, but the hours have kind of been okay that I could see some of it. And then I went home and I taped yesterday afternoon, went home and watched that, and that was, it's unbelievable it's folding. So we'll talk about the first 2 days of the Masters, and we'll also share a little bit. Mike called me last night and said he found an article that said there's a stat that proves the pin should come out. Well, I found a whole article that says the pin should stay in from Dave Pelz. So maybe we can get to it, to pin or not to pin. That is the question at the end, second half of the show. And Mike, I don't know if you brought your report, but I brought some of the one I've had.
I have to pull it up. It's online.
But anyways, it's an interesting topic, and I think it will always be discussed. And if you look at the leaderboard, there's some that are leaving the pin in entirely every time. There's some that's choosing kind of both, and there's some that don't. So it's I just think. I don't know what the answer is. I did play on Monday. I had to see Nikki over at an event, and I decided for the most part to leave it in, just to experiment with it. And it was kind of hard because I had to make that choice. Oh, no, I went over to pick it out and said, no, I'll just leave it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to play around with it, and it was good. I played really well. I putted well. So I don't know if the pin helped any putts, but I putted really well that day. So it was a fun day. It was nice to see you over there, Nikki.
It was always nice to see you, Bill.
So here's something about that article.
Yeah.
The article's in Golf World. It was done by a professor right here at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Oh, you got
University.
local pin.
Yeah.
All I got's from Dave Pelz. He's some guy in the golf world.
Yes, just some guy.
I think I've heard that.
Just maybe.
Before we jump into a lot of this stuff, we had a question from one of our loyal listeners, Henry. And his question was interesting. He said, with 5 guys tied at 7 under, how do they determine who gets paired with today? Generally, he thinks the last 2 are the ones who have the best previous round. Louis had 66, Marley 67. That's not how it works, Henry. I know it makes sense. You'd think who shot the lowest, gets paired together. But here's how they do it. If there's 5 golfers tied for the lead after 2 rounds, the third round pairings and tee times are based on the order in which those guys posted their scores.
Oh,
so among those 5 players, the one who posted the score first, the first one to finish that yesterday, in other words, will tee off last among the group, and so on. So the first 2 guys that posted are the last 2 guys, is the last twosome. Huh? And then the guy that posted the last 60, the 7 under, will be paired with probably a Tiger.
Yeah.
right at 6 under. I know.
But
Is there
that's-
more than one at 6 under?
This is for
Yeah,
the
there's
third.
more than
That's
one.
for that's for
For
today.
today, right?
Yeah. So
Right.
so he's wondering, so that's how it's done. So whoever posts first is the last out.
That's really interesting. I would have thought that maybe it would be like a card off.
Yeah, I looked it up. And that's what they're doing. Because sometimes it's difficult because you're saying, well, if he makes it this one, he's going to be paired in the last group tomorrow. I've seen that in tournaments where they're saying, and it seems like there's 3 guys. So,
Yeah.
but that's what this. I looked it up on on the
interesting.
Masters page, but that's what they said. So, if that's right, whoever posted the 67 the 7 unders first, and I don't know, I think Molinari was one of them real early, wasn't he? Somebody else, but anyways. I hope that answered. I'll read it again. Just so the 5 golfers tied for the lead after 2 rounds. The third round pairings and the tee times are based on the order in which those 5 golfers posted their scores. Among those 5 tied players, the one who posted the score first, the 7 under first, previous round. In other words, he will tee off last among that group of those tied players. So whoever posted first is the last guy to hit.
Who's tasing?
Yes. Okay. So that's how that's.
Ooh, Steve.
So who's he paired? Is he paired with
He is paired with Dustin Johnson.
Yeah. So Dustin came in early with that.
I guess.
No. Dustin's not at 6. He's at 6 under, is he?
Yeah, but there's 5 people at.
So
the 2 people
Ocean was
in
the
a-
last to post. So yeah, that makes sense. He came in. So it's the first ones. Whoever came in early at the 7 unders would be the last ones to tee off. Who's the last group going off? Very last group.
Oh, I don't have the parent.
Oh, the last group today. Anyway.
I have the-
Well, so Henry, I hope I was clear. That doesn't seem quite clear yet, but that's what the words came off the website. Amazing, I have to tell you guys. For years, I've been kind of a Tiger basher, and we've talked. Is he ever coming back? Is he going to win again? Is he ever going to even play again? All these topics have been going on. He is a force to be reckoned with, and he's an exception to almost every rule. And you can't take your eyes off him.
Isn't he amazing?
You just can't.
I know it's so
It's just
awesome.
amazing what I couldn't take my eyes off him, and I'm not sure if I'm rooting for him or I'm rooting for someone else. I don't
You can't
know.
help yourself.
It's really.
It's
You can't help
just
yourself.
insane,
Yeah.
and and the galleries. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, it's just I have to give it up. It makes it riveting. It's the ending yesterday was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great golf. And when he won the tour championship.
It was like
I mean,
spine chilling.
So it's just he's back, man, and the guy's doing. And everybody leaves shots out there. I mean, they all do. So you can only just put the ones that count on the board. But he left some putts out there. They all did.
Yeah.
But he did. He came in. He could have went really low. I
Man,
mean,
that
it's-
one shot through
the
the
dude's a
trees.
the
Did you see
stud.
that where his window was like this big?
Remind me of the
So-
Jason Day
Yes,
thing
exactly.
when we were there.
there.
2016. I think it
Uh-huh.
was hole 7, and we've talked about that.
Oh, on 14 when he went through the hole.
And
had
we
a-
sat there and watched.
There was no shot. It
It
was,
was like this
unbelievable.
big of a place.
I think what the bigger thing was when we were there in 16, we talked about it, was how close all the patrons were to him.
Yeah.
Like nobody would
Yeah.
move. Like
Yeah.
they moving back, and then and then you get yesterday where that spectators running.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Some of the
Which-
surprises.
It was
can-
the security
which is funny
guard.
because you're not
Oh, was
allowed-
it the security guard?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a spectator.
No, he was running to try to get people away from Tiger.
Ah,
They
got
were,
it.
they were
Got it.
crouching.
Almost
They
like
were
taking
crouching
him out.
Tiger.
Yeah.
Is that a movie?
Crouching tag. Yeah.
So they were crouching Tiger, and he tried to run to back them off and slipped in wet grass.
It looked like a sliding into second base.
I saw him
So-
fall.
Oh my gosh, that could have been a disaster.
Just to end on the Tiger effect, it really is an effect. And I don't know if it's you guys, but the galleries look so much bigger than when we were there. We were there on Friday,
Yeah.
and
And
it
for the
just looked
rain,
like
too.
a billion people there.
It looked massive.
Didn't
Yeah.
it? And it
I
didn't
think it is
seem
way,
like a
yeah.
billion people
Yeah.
when we were there on
No.
Friday.
And even with the rain, they're still there.
It was about a 2-minute rain. It wasn't really rain. So, but
They pulled him
Sunday
off
could
the
be.
course,
But
right?
Yeah,
at,
for
right
30
at 12,
minutes.
right at 12, and after he made that great birdie, and I think the only birdie in 11, when we were there on the 12th tee on Friday, it didn't seem like there was 80 rows of people and
No.
bleachers. Were there bleachers back there?
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Because I was looking at it going, I
No.
don't remember that many
No.
people
No,
there.
there was not.
I remember bleachers down by the.
There was a little
the
food
par
shack.
3 that we were down at. Is that which one?
16?
16. There was bleachers at 15 and 16. Remember we were up on top of them for a while, and then we went behind and we went through them.
We were on the lake at 16.
Yeah, but we also there's bleachers along by the green on 15.
It just seemed like more, and I thought I don't know this for a fact. I tried to find it. If they let the same amount of patrons in each day, I thought that was a controlled number of people.
That's a Chris Rigby question.
And if that's the case, I tried to find it, and they say they give the same amount of tickets out every year. That was their answer.
It looked like a lot.
Badges, but it looked like a lot more. Maybe that's because they're all with Tiger.
I'll tell you, and that's what happened. They all do go
because
with Tiger.
they were all following him. Then yes, there'd be a lot. He wasn't there when we watched. But if let's say there's 30,000 patrons, and there's 25 of them are following Tiger, that's why it looks like more.
Right.
But it just seemed like, and then right behind 12, remember we just walked up the little path and there was the little shack, little food shack, and shack right there. And I couldn't even see it on the TV.
Right.
It looked like it was just. So I don't know if it was that crowded. I'm kind of glad we're not there this year because it's been fun to watch up front and close on the television.
When we talked to Chris from the Patrons Caddy earlier this year, he mentioned it was going to be
big.
I remember that.
So you're the producer. Look up how many patrons a day.
I will.
They also, the couple surprises. And you guys, I know, Mike, you said you get to see much. I hope you watched some of it last night. I don't think there's any surprise that the cream rises to the top. And all 5 of those people, 7 under, are major champions. Right. This golf course demands the best of the best at the time, and it really shows.
Yeah.
Was there 9 people within one shot? 5, it's unbelievable, and they're all.
It was
amazing
at one time,
and Shoffley right there.
Yeah, at one time, they said there was something like 24 guys, I think, within 2 shots of the lead, or 3 shots, within 3 shots of the lead.
At one time, the first day, there was 10 people tied for the lead at once, but 5 after 2 days has never happened. And the quality of these guys, Jason and Brooks, and Brooks, no one ever even really talked about him except for I think Nikki before the event, and he's a stud, man. He just is that good. Francisco, did you pick Francisco Monterey? Somebody in our group did. Yeah. I think Mike's got all that.
I did. Yeah.
What a stud. Louis is a mystery guy.
Yeah.
Pops in once in a while, disappears for 5-6 years, pops in. He's only won once on the tour. Once. In our tour, the PGA Tour.
My whole Masters thing is whether I'm going to beat you, Nikki, is based on Louis.
You picked Louis?
I picked Louis.
Yeah.
He's the only guy because I know we're going to talk this later.
Am I out of this mess? I got nothing. I got Kuchar. I got some guys. It's only 2 more days, man.
Anything can still happen, but when you're looking at, and I know we're going to talk about this on the second segment, but a lot of it has to do too with who you have and everybody else does not have.
Yeah.
That, and if they do well, that's how you're going to,
I'm confused.
When Rosie fell out, that killed me.
I know. That's my one of the biggest surprises. He's on my list of biggest surprises is Rose.
Yeah.
Rosie missing the cut.
That just killed me. I couldn't believe it.
Turns out that little putt on 18, he would have made the cut because at one time, when Adam was at 8 under, all the threes were gone. Right? And then he missed that little putt to go back to 7, which brought in all the threes. Rosie was at 3 and missed this little baby putt to go to 4 over and gone. It was pretty interesting. I think
couldn't believe it.
But the golf course, there was so much talk about the changing, and they did change it a little bit. And remember, we talked about new designs and stuff, and it was nice to see the chairman saying, you know what, we're going to leave 13 as it is for now. We bought the property, we can make changes, but he doesn't want to make it longer because it. And you remember I mentioned something about it, like putting of teeth on the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
They brought up. Somebody mentioned it'd be like changing the Mona Lisa. Yeah. And they're taking our lines here, people.
Yeah.
I heard
That's
that.
because they listen to us every Saturday.
They did. They said,
"Is this place mic'd?"
It might be mic'd. Is this on?
We're mic'd.
I think we're being watched. But it's true. But I was thinking that they didn't make much changes. So do you think the course is playing too hard, too soft, or just right? Is it the Goldilocks effect here? Is it too hard, too soft, or just right?
Just right.
I think just the leaderboard speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Why would you change anything?
It couldn't be more just right, it seems like.
Yeah.
And make 13, I think, is great. That's just such drama. And people are, Tiger didn't make birdie on it. Dustin hit in the stream and makes birdie.
I know, that was crazy, wasn't
it's incredible. So I think that hole's one of the best holes in golf. Leave it just what it is. That's just my opinion.
35,000 to 40,000
every day.
Is the estimate. But
what?
they don't publicize it.
Yeah, that's what I read too.
Yeah.
But so do you think more get in than when we were there?
It says that in recent memory, the club has offered daily tickets to tournament rounds also in addition. So it's possible.
Yeah, and then they don't ever share that kind of stuff. But it sure looked like more. But you know what? The cameras were on Tiger almost primarily, right? I mean, that's really what they were. And so sitting there and looking behind him, I'm like, oh my God. I don't know if I want to sit in that little crowd. Man, I
got to tell you, I mean, you and I went to I think it was the Open at Olympic, and it was just the practice round. And that was insane. Getting in
we
there
went to the Open at Pebble.
Getting in there was insane.
Yeah.
And I remember it might have been the first or second year that Tiger played Pebble Beach for when he would play the AT&T Pro-Am. And I've talked about this too. We were sitting down on the 14th green at the stands at Pebble, and you could hear this. And we're like looking around, and
Tiger
we're like,
roar.
what is that? Like, what is it? And it's 15 green we were at. It says, when I'm like looking around, and I look at my wife and I go, what is that? And you look up in the trees because the tee box is up pretty high above you, and you can see through the trees. You start seeing all these like feet, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a wave of people, and they're coming down, and we just were like, we're getting out of here. And it was Tiger was coming down.
Yeah.
And that whole walking path on the left side of 15, which is not very wide to begin with, they were from the fence line to the rope line, just packed like sardines. It was like a rock concert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
And I'm kind of too old for that stuff, but
Me too.
it just seemed, and he's been doing this forever, right? Tiger's doing this forever. But so, would you rather be the group in front of him, behind him, or with him?
That's the question right there.
Because if you're in front of him or behind him, people are moving and
my
running
gosh,
and scraping. I don't know how they're keeping the Masters patrons from running.
Yeah.
Now this guy ran
didn't-
into him, right? Because he ran to stop someone from running, which is kind of funny, running at Tiger.
That is really funny.
He
But-
must just be mortified that
if he
that
got
happened.
hurt, it would have just.
Oh my gosh.
And it looked like it hurt him for a while. And then when we come back, we got to talk about the amazing Zach Johnson somewhat tee shot. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't see it.
It's awesome. I've done
I'll
that.
check it out on the break.
All right.
All right, we're listening to Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. It is the Masters show, right in the middle of the Masters, halfway through the Masters show. Thanks to TaylorMade Golf for partnering with us on Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Check out the latest M5, M6 drivers, fairways, hybrids, and irons at TaylorMadeGolf.com today. We'll be right back. Stay with us.